When I was younger, I was an idiot. Under the pretense of being a realist, I decided the world was a bleak and depressing place, and I felt that if a story didn't include the darker side of life, it wasn't a good story. I used to get pissed off watching otherwise amazing shows with villains that are out to take over the world, but for some reason never kill a single person, fully grown adults that never swear, and violence where there is never any blood, and no one really gets hurt or dies except at the very end. But what I really lacked was empathy. In the same way that a child will refuse to like the colour pink because it's for girls, I refused to like anything that I felt wasn't gritty enough for me. The whole idea seems fucking ridiculous in hindsight, because where I had decided things I loved from my childhood like Pokemon were automatically bad, I loved Adventure Time because I felt it was made to be watched by adults too. An absolutely adorable Beemo was and is my favourite character. When I first watched Totoro, I didn't like it because I just couldn't empathise with the characters on screen. I've never been a young girl, and at the time I tried to reject childish things as much as possible. In my desire to see the world through a cool, mature lens, I couldn't appreciate the sincere, heartwarming beauty of the masterpiece. Even at the time I knew something just wasn't right, because Totoro sprouted forth from the same mind that created one of my favourite films at the time, Princess Mononoke. I chalked it down to Totoro being a film for kids, where Mononoke was for adults, and didn't really think much more of it. Thankfully, I have changed as a person since then, and although I still appreciate a realistic depiction of a harsh reality as much as ever, I have slowly learned to appreciate cute, nice and happy things just as much, if not more. I realised that these nice moments existed within the films that I had loved all along, and that I was a complete fool for rejecting them as unrealistic depictions of life. I learned to appreciate the small things in real life, the sight and smell of flowers, the playfulness of puppies, and the glory of the sunset. In doing so, I realised that the real world wasn't all darkness like I thought it was. There's some darkness in it, sure, but there is just as much warmth and kindness and light. Now when I look at media, I more frequently come down on it for being needlessly brutal, where far from being realistic, it seems only included to give a shock factor to a completely desensitized audience. I'm so happy to have come around on this topic, because I've read and watched so many things in that time that gave me so much joy and happiness by finally being able to empathize with young, kind characters and their innocent sweetness. Gon and his friendship with Kiowa, the transformative power of Heidi's positivity, and the undying devotion of Ponyo are all beautiful things that I have learned to appreciate. When I watched Totoro again, as a changed man, I saw it for what it truly is, a masterpiece of cinema. The childlike wonder of the old creaking house in the country shines through the screen from the very first moments of the film. I am as curious as Mei and Satsuki as they listen to Granny talk about the spirits that inhabit the house. I become fully aware of the beauty in the simple pleasures of starting a fire, taking a bath, and the howling wind outside. I remember what it is to be a child in a new place who misses their parents. I remember what it is to be curious and wander away to get lost in the magnificence of nature. What it is to dream of fantastical creatures and fly through the night. I can feel the warmth and comfort of Totoro's furry belly as he sleeps soundly under his tree. I can't help but smile as he roars, and laugh as he stands there dumbly in the rain. The beauty of nature, the innocent, unguarded emotion of childhood, the preciousness of family, three of life's greatest treasures. In the end, My Neighbour Totoro is not a child's film, in the same way that ice cream is not a child's food. It is a beautiful, heartwarming piece of cinema that can and should be enjoyed by all people. In the words of a great man, it is rated U for universal, not C for child. Thank you, of course, to Hayao Miyazaki and everyone at Studio Ghibli for making masterpiece after masterpiece. Thank you to Mei and Satsuki for making me realise how sweet childhood can be. And thank you for watching. Peace.